What kind of person harms a child? Most people imagine a monster hiding in the shadows, but the terrifying truth, many child rapists look completely normal. They can be friendly, trusted, respected, even loved by the people around them. Tonight, we're breaking down the psychology, the manipulation, and the disturbing mindset behind child rapists, not to glorify them, not to excuse them, but to understand how they think, so the warning signs are harder to miss. Before we begin, this video is educational. Not every offender thinks the same way. Psychology is complex, and abuse is never caused by one single factor. But criminal psychologists and investigators have identified disturbing patterns that appear repeatedly in many offenders. Patterns of manipulation, control, entitlement, emotional distortion. Because one of the biggest myths about predators is that they snap. Most don't. Many plan, manipulate, and slowly build trust long before the abuse ever happens. And that's what makes them dangerous. One of the most disturbing traits of many child predators is compartmentalization. They separate their crimes from the rest of their identity. To neighbors, they may appear normal, helpful, polite, caring. Some have jobs involving children. Some volunteer. Some become authority figures. Why? Because predators often seek environments where trust already exists. Criminal profilers call this access through trust. The predator understands something terrifying. Children are easier to control when adults already trust the offender. That's why many cases involve someone the victim already knows. A coach, a relative, a family friend, a teacher, a religious leader. The danger often doesn't look dangerous at first, and predators rely on that. The biggest weapon many predators use isn't violence, it's grooming. Grooming is psychological manipulation designed to lower a child's defenses while gaining emotional control. And it rarely starts with obvious abuse. It may begin with attention, gifts, compliments, special treatment. The predator tries to create emotional dependence. They may say things like, "You're more mature than other kids. You understand me better than adults do. This is our secret." The goal is isolation. Not physical isolation at first, emotional isolation. The child begins to feel connected to the offender, protective of them, even responsible for them. And many predators manipulate parents too. They build trust with the entire family before crossing boundaries. That's why outsiders often refuse to believe accusations at first, because the predator carefully built a safe image. One of the darkest aspects of offender psychology is cognitive distortion. Many predators justify their actions to themselves. Some convince themselves the child wanted it. Others minimize the harm. Some claim they were showing affection. These beliefs are false, dangerous, and deeply manipulative. Psychologists have found that offenders often rewrite reality in their minds to avoid guilt. Instead of seeing themselves as abusers, they see themselves as misunderstood. This distorted thinking allows them to continue offending while protecting their self-image. Because if they admitted the full reality of what they were doing, it would destroy the fantasy they created about themselves. At the core of many abuse cases is power. Predators often target those with less ability to resist, report, or be believed. Children are vulnerable, dependent on adults, easier to intimidate, easier to manipulate emotionally. Some offenders are driven by control more than attraction. The ability to dominate another person psychologically becomes part of the abuse itself. That's why threats are common. If you tell anyone, no one will believe you. You'll get in trouble too. Fear becomes another tool of control. And tragically, many victims stay silent for years because of shame, confusion, or fear. Many people ask, how could nobody notice? But predators often study social environments carefully. They learn which adults are distracted, which children are isolated, which families are vulnerable. Some intentionally appear generous and helpful. Others use humor and charisma to avoid suspicion. This creates what investigators sometimes call social camouflage. The offender doesn't want attention. They want invisibility. And society often struggles to imagine predators as ordinary people. That denial can make detection harder, because real danger rarely announces itself clearly. Today, many predators operate online, and the internet changed everything. Offenders can now contact children anonymously, pretend to be teenagers, and build emotional relationships over weeks or months. Some use gaming platforms, social media, private chats. The tactics remain similar: attention, emotional manipulation, isolation, secrets. Many online offenders slowly test boundaries before escalating conversations. That's why digital safety education matters. Not fear, not paranoia. Awareness, because many victims never realize they're being manipulated until much later. The psychological damage can last decades. Survivors may struggle with trust, anxiety, depression, PTSD, self-worth, relationships. And one of the cruelest parts of grooming is that victims sometimes blame themselves, especially when manipulation created emotional confusion. But responsibility always belongs to the offender. Always. Experts repeatedly emphasize that abuse thrives in secrecy, and survivors often begin healing only when the silence is broken. The mindset of a child predator is built on manipulation, not uncontrollable impulses. Many offenders know exactly what they're doing. They exploit trust, they distort reality, they seek control, and they rely on silence. Understanding these patterns matters because awareness can protect people. The goal isn't fear, it's recognition. Because the more society understands how predators operate, the harder it becomes for them to hide. If you found this video informative, subscribe for more psychology and true crime breakdowns. And remember, the most dangerous predators are often the ones nobody suspects. Hit the subscribe button for more psychology crime documentaries.